America is huge. Like that could be huge. We'll have to massage that one.
All right, so we're live on the page.
Are we live now?
Yeah, live.
We're not live on the page yet. Hold on.
Oh, only on the page? Perfect.
Yeah, I just remembered I started in the group, but then I remember Frank likes to share everything out, so it's easier for me to see it out.
Frank's the boss. Frank, the man.
Well, fuck around.
You coming home for the holidays at all, man? Or are you staying out there for New Year's and Christmas?
Bro, I'm spending Navidad with the fam.
What's that?
I'm going to Texas.
Going to Texas, nice.
So look at Frank, man. He's got the facial hair, the toothpick. He's changed a lot in the past month.
He's got the sick hair part, you know, like all that shit. Got the nice fucking beater on. I love it.
All right, so we're live both in
YOLO
on the page and in the group, guys. We want to welcome Frank again to Business Not Bullshit. If you're watching live and you have any questions, feel free to post it either in the group or on the page. We'll check both. And if you're catching the replay, go ahead and comment replay so we know that you're watching. And if you have any questions during the replay, feel free to post it as well, and we will answer them.
Yeah, we're going to go over a bunch of good shit today. It's been, I think, about 6 months, Frank, since we had you in the call last time. But the talented Mr. Salas, one of my all-time favorite people to watch, always never know what country he's going to be in or what he's going to do. I think last time we were talking, you were about to go, you know, hop in an Uber and go look at real estate, all kinds of shit, man. Always up to something new. So super excited to have him back. Guys, let us know what types of questions you have. Frank is incredible at selling, outsourcing, automation. I've seen some of his back-end stuff. It absolutely just blows me away. So we're definitely going to talk a lot about outsourcing, things like that today. But with that, Frank, we got a lot of new members here recently. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us about you a little bit, and we'll jump right in.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. And if you don't know who I am, that's my fault. And I take full responsibility for that. I'm a pretty awesome dude. I travel the world. I help people their business online using social media, and I also help them grow their business with virtual assistants based in Latin America, Eastern Europe, as well as Asia. So if you like more money, if you like doing less work, then you should probably follow me because I help you out.
He's not kidding either. So we, as you guys know, we vet everyone that we bring in. This whole group was started because of getting burned by some gurus. Frank actually walks the walk. Like, I've seen him. I've had conversations with him when he's on different beaches all around the country, and this is over the last, 6 months and everything. So, Frank, with that being said, man, a lot of us, or we saw some talk about, outsourcing, hiring VAs. It's a super hot topic right now. So why don't you just talk a little bit about, when would a good time to be, what they can be used for, how to not get scammed, because I know that if you go through different countries, you can get worse people. I guess talk a little bit about the process of outsourcing in general. And, how, like you said, you can take a business owner from working in the business and getting most of it automated outside. Because I know you have some pretty ridiculous setups when it comes to your VAs, because I've seen the back end. So talk a little bit about that, man.
You got it. Hey, so, working with virtual assistants is something that has changed my life. I've been working with virtual assistants and remote professionals since 2008. And it's just been a great way for me to take my resources, which is my money, and put out into the marketplace, the job marketplace, and instead of paying somebody in America, in Canada, in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, instead of paying them those rates, and those are the most expensive places to hire from, most jobs can be done by the phone or by a keyboard on a computer. So what I do is I work with those people to make it more affordable, number one, so I can maximize my resources. As an entrepreneur, one of my fundamental principles and values is the MVP business model. So that's minimum viable product. My mission as an entrepreneur, my strategy, the way I run ball, the way I run my offense, if you're a sports guy or a sports scout, the way that I run it is if I take money, I want to put the least amount of money on the table to get the maximum amount of return first. Then when I have that proof of concept, and I'm going to say that again because a lot of people are going to need to understand these terms. Once I have that proof of concept, once I take my resources, give it to the marketplace, money comes back, I get an ROI, a return on my investment with that proof of concept, then I start to scale. And one of the ways to get that proof of concept with the MVP business model in mind, minimum viable product, is to work with somebody in a country that is not yours. Bottom line, it's cheaper to live in other places of the world. Right now, I'm in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I probably am struggling to spend $2,000 here. Like, it's really hard to spend $2,000 a month here. That's like with rent, massages, dates, sushi, movies, going out to eat 3 to 5 times a day, nice gym, all that stuff. Cigars, everything, man. It's hard to spend $2,000 in different parts of the world.
That's what's up, man. So talk to us about when, you start looking at introducing it. You know what I mean? A lot of people on here, a lot of us do Facebook ads agencies. There's definitely some SEO, some Google AdWords, things of that nature. I mean, when would you start looking at bringing on a VA? Let's talk about some of the things that you've done. You've automated out to VAs so we can kind of get like an overall picture of, what you're using them for, how complex it might be able to be, how simple it might be able to be, and then one thing I want to talk about is we have a VA that we work with, and it saves us so much time and effort, especially for the humdrum things that you just don't want to do. Like, I mean, we have her duplicating campaigns and building stuff, very simple things. Before that, we had her helping prospecting by searching emails and finding clinics, that we were going after. So talk a bit about some of those things so that way they can get a clearer picture. Because I think for a lot of people, it's there's a little bit of a psychological burden there, for hiring, paying, outsource, things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so just for the record, outsourcing is something that I practice in all aspects of my life, not just in my business. So I don't mow my own lawn. I don't do my own laundry. I don't even drive. I actually hate driving. I have a maid. I outsource as much of my life as I can. And the reason for that is because I understand my RGA, my revenue generating activities. For examples, if I don't sell, I don't make money. If I make pretty graphics, if I make pretty websites, if I do even amazing Facebook ads, I don't make money. No money goes into my cigar bank account. And so the way for me to fill up that cigar piggy bank is for me to sell. And if I understand that first and foremost, that my company only makes money when I take these RGA, revenue generating activities, when those actions are being taken by me, my company grows. If I do other things that isn't an RGA, my company dies. So as a business owner, my job is to make it grow, not die. So first and foremost, what I do in any business, I've got several businesses, is I make a list. And I have what's called a time journal that is a free worksheet that I give out to people who are interested in finding out more about my material. I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Can you guys see my screen?
It's loading up, yeah.
Yep, we got it.
All right, so this is the time journal. This is like 2 years old. It's one of the first worksheets I ever made for my business or like my personal brand. So the art's a little outdated, but it gets the job done.
Emojis are there though.
You read through this. What was
yeah,
that?
You got your emojis on there, bro. You were like the first person who started dropping emojis everywhere. I remember seeing that, Frank. Like that was probably like 8 months ago now.
Yeah, dude. So these emojis really help out, man. You got to watch that emoji episode if you haven't watched that one just yet. But check this out. So this is the time journal. So I have it broken down into 3 sections. The first is the morning. The second one is the afternoon. And then the evening. So you really want to do this for about a week. And by the way, this is free. We'll have a link for you somewhere. For you guys, you can just message my Facebook business page at Talented Mr. Salas if you're watching this on the replay. But bottom line, your goal, your mission is to make a diary of your time. Have a journal of your time every week. So Nick, what'd you do this morning? What was one thing you did this morning?
Pull up my calendar.
Yes, I remember.
It's literally. Oh, I had a 9 a.m. call with a dude, and then I had 6 monthly one-on-ones. So I had a 9 a.m. call with the dude. 6 monthly one-on-ones with my employees. So basically back to back to back to back.
All right. So this 9 a.m. call, we got to jump up here. Did this task?
Potentially. You're breaking out a little bit, Frank. You there?
He's on the Mexican internet right now.
Uh-oh.
Did you make money talking with this guy at 9 o'clock in the morning? Radio. I can hear you guys just fine.
All right. No, you're back, man. So 9 a.m. So yes, that potentially could be worth money. That one I would say was a money-producing activity. Absolutely.
All right. Did that absolutely require your personal touch?
Yes, this one did.
All right, cool. So your 6 monthly, so what I would do is I would say, okay, this makes money and this requires your personal touch. These kinds of calls you probably want to keep doing until you could replace yourself with probably a high level employee. That is one of the ways that I would outsource the kinds of, whatever call you had this morning at 9 o'clock, unless it was a physical from your doctor, grabbing on your, you know what, asking you to cough, then the mission is for you to replace yourself here.
Yep.
So your 6 monthly one-on-ones with your employees, did that make you money?
Not directly. Indirectly, it probably will.
I agree. But yeah, it didn't make you money. And did that absolutely require your personal touch?
As of right now, yes.
Okay, cool. Is there a possibility for your personal touch to not be there?
At this time, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense, but in the next 12 to 18 months, absolutely.
Awesome. So that right there is something that you could potentially outsource to other people. And the goal is just to look at, what is this? Did this make me money? And do I absolutely need to do this? And so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I'm sure you guys get the point. Actually, let's get one. Give me a layup. What is something that you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably just gave you the rough ones because I'm in the whole like.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I was on a webinar that I didn't need to be on that I could have had someone else watch. So a webinar from Billie Jean this morning.
Awesome. So did the webinar make you money?
No.
Did you absolutely
No.
need to be on that? Boom. So that was something you could have outsourced. For some people, right here, they would have lead generation. They make it maybe even during phone calls, Facebook messages, LinkedIn, Twitter, cold email. They're like, but Frank, I'm spending 4 hours every day doing lead generation. And if I don't lead generate, I don't make any money. I was like, hey, I hear you. If you want to make money, you need to have leads. So let's just put it into the time journal. Let's see what happens. Did this task make you money? Everybody says, yes, lead generation made me money. I was like, did you sending cold emails, did that physically put money into your bank account? They're like, no, but it can. So we got to go by the rule, and it's no. It doesn't make you any money. Did you absolutely need to send out that email? Could your brother have done it? Could your sister have done it? Could another employee have done it? Did you absolutely need to send that? No, I didn't absolutely need to send that. So that's something that you can outsource. That's a prime candidate for something that needs to be done, but doesn't necessarily require your personal touch to get out there. What is ideal for this kind of situation is if you outsource tasks that make you money and don't require your personal touch. So, for example, for me, sending out proposals, man, those things take me, they used to take me a long time. Now they take me, pretty quick. And so sending proposals actually makes me money. When I send out a proposal, money actually comes into my bank account. And the best part about that is that it doesn't require my personal touch. So my mission is to send out as many proposals as possible so I don't have to send them out and so I get more money. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Absolutely. And I want to touch upon this, guys. The lead generation, the cold emails, the spam messages, those should be like the first things that I would think that you would want to outsource. Frank, you can correct me if I'm wrong there. Simply because you can teach people how to, do that easily. Now, outsourcing the actual phone call and closing the deal, that's a little bit tougher. You got to be able to close deals and teach people a model. That's not quite as easy. But he's making a great point here because we have to value our time. If you spend 4 hours doing that, that's 4 hours that you're not on the phone. And even if it's really not that expensive to get these guys too. I mean, this really just comes down to how much do you value your time when you start outsourcing things. And that's kind of why, I've got employees. We've got employees so that we can do more things so that I can work on other stuff. It's not quite what Frank's talking about here as far as, using different types of labor and, being remote and nomad style, but it's the same purpose. We need to value our time. We need to understand that everything you just said, cold emails aren't what makes you money. It's the conversation on the phone that makes you money. Anybody can set up the cold emails. Anybody can set up, go spam Facebook messages. Anybody can spam LinkedIn, which are all very viable ways of prospecting, by the way. Hell, you can have people set up appointments for you so that you can close the deals. There's just so many things that you can do here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I want to share my screen and really show something that really helped me out when I first saw this. This made everything click for me. This is from Robert Kiyosaki. So that's not the one. So Robert Kiyosaki had Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everybody knows Rich Dad Poor Dad. But nobody ever reads his second book, which is The Cash Flow Quadrant. And this is one of my favorite charts because most people are here. They're saying, I have a marketing agency, I'm a consultant, I'm doing this, I'm providing whatever kind of service. They're self-employed. And if you haven't yet got a place where you have employees, you have no leverage, you own a job, and your time is money. The amount of your active work determines your income. And if you're ready to outsource and you want to move from this category, the S, you're going to put yourself over to the B. So this says business owner, but in my head, I always say boss just because it sounds cooler. So boss right here. You own a system. And I want to touch on that very briefly. You own a system. A system is something that you can create and you can leave and let it run. So, all of us here have agencies. We've all got systems, processes, protocol. We could have certain aspects of our business done like clockwork without us having to be on it too much. Is that a pretty fair statement, fellas?
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So I want to show you a little bit more about the system. And this is something that had changed my life or this year in 2017. So, full transparency, this is a software that I use. They're in beta stage and they have less than 5,000 total users. By the way, almost everything I'm going to share with you is in beta stage. It might be blocked, they might be banned, they might run out of money, they might no longer exist. So just throwing you a heads up. These guys aren't one of those kinds of companies that I see going away, but they are new and they have an extremely loyal following. This is Dubsado. So Dubsado is and I'm actually going to stop sharing this real quick, is a CRM, client relationship management tool. It is not an autoresponder. It is not, something that you can send out mass emails, but what it does, it allows you to send out proposals on freaking autopilot, man. It's just nuts. So I want to share with you just a little bit from my experience, but can you guys talk about your proposal systems and what your proposals are like when you're trying to close deals? Maybe that might help somebody out as I get this.
Yeah, ours are simple. We don't overthink the proposal process. We do not create long, elaborate proposals. We just turn them out. We sell very, very packaged products and deals with our system, and we basically just change out the name of the business that we're putting in there. That's really the simplicity of it. We don't overthink it. Yes, there is some copy on there that writes about what we do and what it's going to be, but we don't get super high tech and crazy because that's not what fits for us. We don't go in and diagnose and create super custom funnels. We have a system that we built that people buy into. So they're buying into our system. So very, very easy. We just send it through DocuSign, get it signed, collect the credit card, boom, go from there. And what about you, Balls?
Yo, Balls.
Oh, yeah. So for me, I just do the slide deck presentation and then shoot out the invoice. That's it.
Okay, it's even simpler. So yeah, when it comes to proposals for us, really, for me, it's just closing call. I tell them what they're going to get. I base everything, all the questions that I have around what they're looking for. But we go after a very specific segment of the market where I pretty much know what they're looking for. I do ask them certain questions to close the deal, but I just walk them through what they're going to get, send them the DocuSign, and, easy peasy. I think a lot of people overthink the proposal process in a lot of ways. I know John, and I think I saw Tim on here, if he's still here, that John says charge like 10 grand just to create a custom proposal. Well, that's one of our coaches, Frank, John Lagar, if you've seen his name pop up in here. But he's like, charge people to create the proposal, and then they will stop, acting for all these crazy RFPs and things like that.
That's a great strategy right there. So this is something for me that is just such alignment with what I roll. So with one click, with one email, Dubsado sends this out to their email. and they click and they get an email that looks like this, and it's just like, hey, blah blah blah, click on this. You can customize the color, the font, the what it says, blah blah blah, and you get one of this. This is just example, whatever I have, but you can select whatever package you want, and automatically from the same page through a mobile device, through a tablet, or through a desktop computer, you can come in here and you can sign the contract. If there's a payment plan on that contract, it'll display it right here. When it's due, everything 100% automatically populates. So if you have an upsell for a chatbot or a landing page or a graphics overhaul or a pixel establishment or setup fees, whatever that's there, if it's on the proposal and they select it, it'll show up on the contract with nothing. It's just automatically. And then they can come over here. Again, this one would have a payment plan, and it'll show when it's due. And they can pay the deposit. They can pay it all, and they can pay it with check, with card, or with PayPal. Or they can even use, they can even leave you a tip on there. And that's 100% on autopilot, man. This has saved me so much time and so much effort in my entire process. Literally, one click to even get them here is all that you need. And I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, ridiculous, but it's just like you have to do a lot of the work up front. So you got to create the package. You got to create the emails. You got to create the contract. You got to create the form. And that's something that where I assist people to get that to. Or you can go to Dubsado and you can learn how to do it on your own, figure it out. They have a great support team, and they're amazing. So that's one of the growth hacks that I figured out in 2017 that allowed me to work with these people, because I do a lot of cold outreach. I know you guys had that big show a few weeks ago about inbound versus outbound. I thought that was great. So make sure you guys watch that show. That was just a phenomenal show. So I do a lot of cold outreach, cold calling, cold email, packages and stuff. So these people, man, they tell me to jump in the lake like at least 30 times a day, So if they're always giving me like the most random requests, and I'm basically saying, I get the same ones you guys do. And I say, you know what? Here's my menu. What would you like from here? And that allows them to, number one, see the price, where my rates are, what's it going to cost them about, and then we can start that conversation. And for me, I want to be very transparent with my pricing, because I used to try to work with everybody, and when I was showing my prices to people, I would go through this whole speech, how I'm awesome, what I'm going to do, and how I'm going to help them. But then when it came time to show them the price, they were like, I can't afford that. And they liked me, they were ready to go, but it just wasn't in their budget. So now I just show them the price up front, and I'm like, yo, this is how much it's going to cost. If you want to play ball, let's jump on a call. Let's talk about what you get, how it works, what it looks like. And that's what gets the money going. The PayPal blinging, son.
Yeah. I love it, man. So, Frank, we've talked about this before. We have a little bit of different approaches, as far as, building the businesses and everything like that. We've got an in-house team, we've got overhead, we've got, office, things like that. And not everyone wants that. There's a lot of people who do want to live the nomad life, travel the world. Talk about some of your struggles, some of the pluses, minuses. And then the last thing, because this would be a concern for me, is like, how do you monitor and oversee the day-to-days when people aren't in-house? I mean, I know how much of a struggle it is, when they're here, versus, I couldn't imagine running big teams outside. So talk just a little bit about the life of the digital nomad.
Yeah, you got it. So first and foremost, 100% of my team is virtual. I don't employ people in America. I don't employ people in any top tier market because they're too damn expensive, son. Straight up. So check this out. I'm going to share my screen with you right now. This is a free tool, or not, a paid tool that I use called Screenshot Monitor. I've got affiliates for both Dubsado and Screenshot Monitor. Hopefully we can link them out. If not, just tell them Frank sent you, son. I need that free month.
You're fine.
It's a bit.ly/Salas screenshots or TMS screenshots. I don't even know. Either way, just come up here. So check this out. This is just from one of my teams. Look how affordable this is. Just for like all these hours being worked. And I think there's actually one. I lied. This guy, he is in America, so he's actually costing me a lot. He's costing me a lot more than other people. He's at like $13 an hour. He's costing me $60 a day. Well, these guys are costing me like $60 a week, man.
Wait, did I just see 488 hours worked for $1,000?
I think it had to be less than that. It had to be, there's probably some kind of error. But anywho, this this is one of my graphic designers that's working right now in this moment. And every 2 minutes, I take a screenshot of what they are doing, and I provide this for my clients as well. Or you can work with somebody on your own, and you can use this to see what they're doing. It tracks their websites. It tracks the apps that they're using. It also tracks their keyboard movement and their mouse movement. So if you look right here, these little green circles, that shows me their activity level, what they're doing, what they're working on. So every 2 minutes, I see what they're doing. It's like I'm right there with them. So let's follow this guy around. And we're working on a real estate logo. So he's doing some research, getting some graphics for some houses. This is an intake form. So speaking on automation and outsourcing working together, this is a perfect example. We have a form for logo creation and other graphic creation that we send to our clients. When we send that form to them, our clients fill that out. Automatically, the team member assigned to that project through Dubsado gets assigned this form. They come in there and they look at this and then they deliver results. So he's reading the form. He's like, okay, this is what they're looking for. He's doing research, blah, blah, blah. Again, look at the time up here, 3:26 p.m., 3:27, 3:29, 3:31, 3:34, 3:36, 3:39. So it's every 2 minutes.
Wow.
And so this is what he's working on right now. And the best part about this is in real time, if I just think whatever he's doing doesn't look good, I can say, dude, scratch that idea in real time. Don't even waste our payroll on that. And what he's doing right now, he's just doing a bunch of different looks for client fulfillment. So one of the processes that we go through, I'm going to start right there because I just gave you guys a lot. I hope you guys really pick up. That's literally how automation and outsourcing work together.
Frank, drop your link real quick on the screenshot thing down in the chat.
Yeah, let's see. So,
yeah, guys, Screenshot Monitor is a great tool. I use it as well. So everything Frank is showing you, that's probably, I've used a lot of different ones, and that's so far probably the best one I've seen. And I think it's still in beta, right, Frank?
Of course, dude. Everything I show you is going to be in beta, son. They could be gone tomorrow.
Damn, every time I see that, that's like the third or fourth time I've seen some of your back-end automations, dude. It's so nuts what you can set up and what you can get rolling. So how many people do you have on your team then?
I have 45 people on my team. 45, amigo.
Wow. And they're all over the world, huh?
And they're all over the world, except America.
So, Frank, talk a little bit about and I get this question a lot. Talk a little bit about your hiring process, how you screen, how you qualify, and then how you get them prepared to work in your organization.
Man, so I have a whole course on that, like literally a $5,000 course on that because it's just a lot. But in a nutshell, this is what I do, is I look for people that are hungry. I look for people that are trainable. So I always hire for attitude and I never hire for skill. I can give them the skill. And for what we do, at least for me, since everything I do is in beta, I've got to train them anyways, no matter how good they are. And with that, I've got to make sure that they can follow directions. So the way that I put out my job postings, there's a specific system. So I say, here's my ad, here's how to apply. And it says at the very end of my ads, it says, paying attention to details pays the best dividends. And I use the winky smiley face emoji so they know that, hey, this is probably something you should be like hip to. And so the smart ones will follow directions exactly. I have things about fonts, font sizes, colors, paragraph, sentences, and I'll do a bunch of reindeer games, is what I call them, to see if they can follow instructions. And one of them's like, hey, I got a client who wants to go to a steakhouse in Austin, Texas on this date. What are my options? And to see, like, okay, how would they respond to that? To see what are their critical thinking there. And I've got literally millions of stuff like that, but I also do English testing, written testing, oral testing. We do personality testing. We do 3 different personalities when we're working with somebody, and as well as internally. And bottom line is you got to see, okay, can they follow instructions? Are they looking for long term? Because the way most people get scammed, quote unquote, is they don't get scammed. They just don't do their due diligence. They also don't protect themselves. And using stuff like screenshot monitors is a great way to protect yourself. Also, I have a contract. I'm a business. I don't just say, yo, your rate's this, you work for me, and that's how it works. I was like, no, this is your hours. This is when I need you. These are our policies. This is our rates. This is what our mission is. If you're going to play ball on the Salas team, your mission is to make it to where, it literally says this in my handbook, your mission is to make it to where I can be on the beach and smoke cigars as much as possible with dealing with you as little as possible. Sign and initial here if you understand the goals of this company. And it's like, that is what mission is. There's no shame about it. It's like, yo, I chose to live my life this way. You need some help. Let's link up. If you can help me, you got a job. It's just that simple. So that's just a little bit about my process. But we do several interviews, and then we do contracts. And really, at the end of the day, you won't know who you're working with until at least 3 days in. Because the first day, it's just kind of like, second day, it's just like, The 3 days, you'll know their attitude, their habits, how they communicate. I'm looking at all those things. When do they show up? What are they wearing on our calls? What is their work environment like? Even though at home, is it noisy? Is it quiet? Is it professional? Is it well lit? Are you drinking coffee? You drinking Citron? I got some Citron over here. We're gonna pop a little bit later. All that kind of stuff. So it's just all about like what are they telling me? People tell you exactly who they are, and your job, your mission is to, number one, give them a shot. Everybody deserves a shot. If they can follow those games, give them a shot. If they got a shot, then it's up to them. So I always have opportunity for people. Once you make the decision to be a boss, like literally a boss, when you literally provide the livelihood for food and rent and water and electricity for other human beings who've got kids and stuff, once you literally make that mental shift, you now have to go and focus on your grind because other people won't eat if you suck.
Yeah.
So now, if you have people on your team that suck, now you're going to jeopardize everybody else. So you are your weakest link. So always screen your people. Let them understand that, look, you don't have a job. Like, this is a way of life. And if you're not with it, there's millions of other people that want to work with me. And there really are.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. So do you do placement for VAs too? Like if people wanted to watch and like, hey, I want to find a VA, but I want to go hire and look for it myself. Do you help do placing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a consulting business. That's the Talented Mr. Salas. But check this out. Because of social media and interviews like this and just raising awareness for my service and what I've got requested so much that we created our own company just for that. So we have this company called Salas Staffing. I'm going to show you the logo here because our team just did this. And I go through my own process. And the reason I want to show you this is because I go through my own process. So I filled out the logo intake form. My virtual assistant got that form, and he gave me a bunch of different looks. And these were the first looks that we got from one of our VAs. And I hated it. I was like, man, this is disgusting, but I like this one little aspect about it. So then from there, we're communicating back and forth. And check this out. We're communicating. That's the biggest thing, is nonstop. We're always having conversations, and we're establishing communication. So he sent me these logos right here, these 6 logos, or these 5 logos. And I liked these. So what I said is what'd I say? I said, B made me LOL. It looks like I'm choking him. So I said, this one looks like choking this guy. And I don't want to send that message to the marketplace. So let's roll with A. And I said, basically, show me more A. And then check this out. Let's go with A. Remove the cigar and make the people all equal size. Show me one with all black and one with different and matching bright color. The goal is to showcase diversity. That is a huge takeaway that is going to slip through a lot of people. Every single time that I leave a project for my VAs, 100% of the time, without fail, 100% of the time, I always say, is this. The definition of success is this. You'll know you do things right when this. If they don't understand what mission accomplished looks like, it's going to be really, really hard for them to get it right.
Wow. That's freaking awesome.
So here's just more of the process. And so he actually got it, almost on the first one, but I was like, you know what? This is good, but I'm picky. I was like, this is good, And I just said, yo, make this higher quality, glossier. The text I'm not in love with. Also make the colors brighter and in different assortment. Literally, when I wrote that, I was at the beach having yoga, smoking a cigar on Trello on my iPhone.
That's freaking sweet. I will say, I do think that every single person who's watching, every single digital entrepreneur out there could use a VA. We could probably use more than the one we've got. Like, it was one of our first hires. It's been so fair share of mistakes, but for the value that we've gotten for what she does and everything, it's been hands down absolutely incredible. So if you don't have one yet, I would absolutely look into it. And every once in a while, what about this, Frank? What do you say when somebody says, well, you're just exploiting other people?
I beg to differ. I don't feel bad about anything that I do. And if you're somebody who outsource, instead of working with somebody in America who wants to bitch and moan for $15 an hour minimum wage to flip burgers and then have to pay unemployment insurance, payroll taxes, Medicaid, all this other stuff that most people who say comments like that, they probably have never incurred those expenses before. So they're coming from a great place and they're like, oh, you're exploiting these people. If you've ever been to those kinds of countries or even a developing nation ever, and you see how hard they work, how honest and, God-fearing, to be blunt, they are, and how there's somebody who's just like, you know what, I don't have an option. If I'm in Colombia, so here's Colombia. This is one example. In Colombia, there's 5 stratuses. There's 1 through 5. If you are 1, you're basically wealthy, and if you're 5, you're poor. 1 pays the most taxes, and 5 pays no taxes and gets free electricity, free water, free internet, free all this stuff, and they get taken care of. But in exchange for that, a 5, unless they get married, cannot become a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1, because that is their system. That is how their society works. And so what I do, and that's just one example, what I do is I go to countries like that and I say, yo, I know you're smart. I know you watch The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, all these American, things. I know you know how to speak English. I know you know how to use Facebook, Instagram. You got all these skills. You're watching all this YouTube stuff. You're watching Ty Lopez and Gary Vee, and you see this opportunity, but you're stuck in your country. You can't get a visa. You can't leave the country. No one's hiring you. No one's even giving you a shot. And what I say, and instead of exploiting, I empower those people, just like I encourage you to empower those people and say, look, you don't got a shot in your country, but I'm going to give you a shot. And somebody like that, very realistically, you could hire for, way less than $10,000 a year, maybe even less than $5,000 a year. So I know some people are like, how much is the cost per hour or per week or per month? If you're thinking about per week or per hour or per month, you're not thinking about this big picture. My most expensive virtual assistant costs 10 grand a year. If you're in a revenue vessel, a revenue vehicle where you can't produce more than 10 grand easily, you should be in a different line of work to where you could succeed, because that's not going to cut it. So what we do in social media is freaking 99.999 million% profit markup. There's no Facebook fees yet that we've got to pay, but we will.
Yeah, man. The reason why I brought that up was just in case people do have hesitations. I've heard about it before. Like you said, the people who bring it up have never had to pay unemployment taxes. I get to pay massive amounts of taxes just for the privilege of paying people, and then they get to turn around and pay taxes on it. And Balls knows all about the tax system. And a second point, our VA loves us so freaking much. We gave her she was $500 a month. We gave her an extra 100 because we're like, we tend to, overcompensate. We do that for a reason. We want to, because we want long term. And she has a nursing degree in the Philippines, and she makes way more money per dollar working with us than she ever would in her nursing degree job. And she also gets to stay at home with her with her new baby, all that stuff. And she just sends me so many messages about how much she loves it, how thankful she is for the opportunity provided to her. So it does provide a little bit of a mindset shift, because you always hear about like sweatshops for Nike and shit like that. But at the end of the day, you can really be doing a huge service and favor for the people that you hire and bring on, because not everyone is as blessed as, America's got its own fair share of fucking problems and shit. But let's be honest, you can come from nothing to become something here. Like you said, other places it doesn't really work like that, and so we take that for granted here.
Yeah,
Balls,
man,
what do you think, bro?
100%. And so, yeah, what's up, Balls?
Yeah, I was say, Paul's just sitting there
No,
like staring,
I'm
man. What are you tired? What's up, man?
I had a long day today, but no, I'm in full agreement, right? So I've hired VAs for a long time. I currently have a VA. She works really great. I just paid her extra 13th month bonus. She's in the Philippines. She works every single day. I don't think she's taking a day off, like maybe like 1 or 2 days she was sick. But I give her more. Like I'll give her more days off. If I have like Thursday and Friday, I have stuff to do outside of this space. So I said, hey, just take the days off, and I'll see you after Christmas on this date. So those like little things are more appreciated than employees in the States where they're entitled to, right? So yeah, I think it's super valuable, and you're helping somebody out in another country, and as a business owner, you're getting the same results, sometimes better results because they're working. I don't know. I've hired a lot of American employees, and the $10 an hour employees cause a lot of headaches sometimes.
Oh
So,
my fuck. They're
so
unemployable, and then they all bit. Oh god. Go ahead.
yeah. So I definitely appreciate the work ethic. I appreciate they're always on point. They're always there, and they're willing to help and they're willing to learn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of qualities you don't see in the States of people willing to learn or go the extra mile or figure something out. So yeah, I mean that's my thoughts on that. Hey Frank, a couple of people did ask, where you hire, where you find people. So if you could link to some resources, whether it's through you or outside of you, on where to find or where to staff virtual assistants. One thing I will tell you about Frank's program is that if you don't know how to build your systems, your processes, to after you have the hire, how to train the hire. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Frank and his team will hire and train the person for your business. Is that right?
100%. So we have three options where it's DIY. We bring you a person. We're like, here you go. They're legit. Work with them. And we also provide a 1-year warranty on all of our placements. Then we have a work with you where we say, here you go. Let's work together and work, get them on them. Then we have a done for you. And those are for people that are just way too busy. They're like, I need help. I need it now. And I can't train them. I was like, boom, we're here. And so we come on there and we help them out with whatever that looks like on their business. And we get them in, we integrate them, and then we kind of fade away into the darkness and say, if you ever want to get divorced, give us a shout.
Love it.
Awesome, awesome. Hey guys, do you have any questions for Frank about outsourcing automations, how he built the system? Like, we didn't really get into a lot of systems we did about the automation stuff, but Frank has a lot that he doesn't share with us on this live because he's only got an hour. So, like, just probe some questions, get some stuff out of him. We're here to extract knowledge from Frank Salas.
No, trust me. What you guys just saw is just a snapshot of some of the things I've seen, and it's not like I spend hours and hours on calls with Frank. It's just unbelievable what I've seen on the back end with the way he puts things together with automation and outsourcing. I get fascinated by it because the whole organizational part in automation is one of my admitted weaknesses. So I love seeing what he's put together. Love hearing from him. I already learned stuff on this call. I need to get that screenshot monitor thing going. I wonder how the guys over here would take that, having it in the office here.
Well, I mean,
you would probably fire like 60% of them.
I know, dude. Nah.
They're internal. You could do a lot worse, actually. you can be a lot more invasive. They're using company equipment, right? So Joshua said, just starting an agency solo. This is great stuff. So yeah, so there's a lot of people that are just starting solo, right? And we talked about a couple of things that might be great to outsource, like lead generation, list building. So one of the first tasks I had my VA do is, hey, I need massive amounts of lists. Here's how you get the list. Here's some lists that you can get automatically. You just got to push these few buttons and do this. Here's some stuff that need manual intervention, and that's a lot of work. So what are the top tasks that you recommend for a solo person to start looking at? We kind of touched on it, but just like the top three. Like, if you're a solo person just starting your agency, maybe you have some extra capital to invest to help put into your business, to scale your business, what would those top three recommendations be?
First and foremost, lead generation. Here's most businesses in any business, at least service-based business, as problem. They work on referral, and they're riding that revenue roller coaster. And some months they get like 10 clients and like, oh man, I'm balling. This entrepreneur thing's amazing. And then for like 3 months, they're serving these 10 people and they're not lead generating. So that causes people to go up and down on the revenue roller coaster, and they can't ever go to that next level. So what I recommend is to get someone to automate their lead generation so you can make certain, like I am certain that every day 100 calls go out on my behalf. I am certain that every day that 400 emails go out on my behalf. I know that's going down. And then there's several other Facebook messages and LinkedIn messages, all kinds of follow-up, because I have a team to do that. Now, that allows me to, number one, get on more sales calls. That also, number two, allows me to deliver on the work that I actually sell. And then it allows me to make more money. Then with that more money, after I've got the clients coming in, I've got the leads coming in, so I'm not, fluctuating my revenue. Then I take that money and I put it to outsource the actual work. So for example, at first, when you're first getting started, you lead generate, you convert that lead to get on your calendar, you qualify that person, then you make an offer, and then you close them. That person is now your client, and you're serving them. So now you have this person you're working with, and then you have the marketplace who has more clients to give you. So you could split your time between serving that client or generating leads, but you only have a certain amount of time. So your goal is to outsource your lead generation, outsource your client service, and just make more sales calls until you finally outsource the sales aspect of it, until you no longer have to be the guy or gal that writes the checks.
Love it, man. It's brilliant. And I'll put the third on the lead gen. That's the number one easiest thing. We all need lists. We all need phone calls going out. We all need touch points. We all need handwritten notes. We all need follow-ups. We all need emails, whatever it is. That's by far the best use at the beginning, in my opinion. And it should be something that's hired pretty immediately to help take you out of some of the mundane things. Because you absolutely need to be prospecting and working on selling every day. But as he had in the beginning, I love that timesheet. Make sure you drop that, bro, because I'm gonna fill that out. Because that's the most cautious thing I'm always thinking about now is where's my time going and how can I open up more time to work on, like I said, bigger things. Right now there's certain things I want to work on. I don't want to be doing some of the stuff I was doing 6 months ago. So making sure that I call them IPAs, income producing activities. Make sure they're always going that way because I love my some beer. So
yeah,
always about the IPAs.
All right, what you got up on the screen, Frank?
Yeah.
Yo, guys, so this is something that has changed my life. So a lot of people, man, honestly, and I don't even like cussing, but I just dislike this so much and I feel like I have to. So just so many people just bitch. They moan and they complain about like, well, I don't know what to give my VA. So they're like, I've got this person and I feel like I'm wasting my money. I can see what they're doing, but they're not doing anything, so nothing ever gets done. So to that person or to somebody who has that fear, what I recommend is to create a daily checklist. And so this is something that myself and my team do for every one of our clients that we serve, and for every project that we start, and for every new business that I get started. We create a daily checklist. And for that daily checklist, it looks different per business, but it boils down to this. I need to give that person 2 to 4 hours of work to make certain that they are actually doing what I need them to do. So this right here is just for my social media business. I'm going to share with you a little thing that's on there. So it's like, give my day. So every morning they gave me my schedule. So they're like, good morning, Frank. This is your schedule today. Your Pilates are at this time, your massage is at this time, and you got a meeting with Nick at this time. I was like, all right, word up. And then they check my emails, they confirm appointments, they follow up with all prospects, they check my personal Facebook messages, my business page Facebook messages, my Facebook group, they check my DMs, they have an SOP, standard operating procedure, on how to report Facebook ads to me. They check my Instagram DMs and so on and so forth. They even tell me the weather, the next day's schedule, and they have a daily report to me every single day. Now, this daily checklist is something that's going to help you reduce a lot of your busy work every single day. So if you're really looking at your time every single day and you fill out that time journal and you're like, man, for a whole week, I did this, this, and this every morning, that should probably be on your daily checklist. And so that's where you take in the time journal and then the technology with the daily checklist, which is the tactic, and you're merging that together, and now you are upping your game. So I always say this on every fucking interview that I do. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, every season, man, they added one thing to their game, just one thing, to make themselves better. And if you adding systems and processes is that one thing to make you go to that next level, that could be the one thing that blows you up. I really believe it is. I think everybody needs a VA. I think everybody needs to have systems for that VA. If you'd like to work with me, cool. If not, regardless, there's like a bunch of ways to get. So Balls asked me, where can you get your VAs? If you don't want to work with me, you can find other people that do what I do that are a lot less expensive. You can also work with Craigslist, and that's where I find most of my people. Just full transparency. Craigslist gets me a lot of hits, and I get a lot of traffic when I make a job post there. Now, then I've got to deal with the quality of those kinds of employees and then filter from there. And then I trust in my systems and my processes. So hopefully I was able to answer a few of your questions over there, fellas.
Yeah, Sonia has a question. So she asked, do you come up with those email and messages, or do they do, or does the VAs do that? Meaning, do you totally set them up and they repeat, or you can tell them a goal, I want to get more clients using LinkedIn, and they do it?
So ideally, this is how this works. You are the brain. The virtual assistants are the arms and the legs. You guide the brain, or your brain guides the arms and legs where to go. And so what I do is I have templates, and I encourage everybody to have templates to go out there. And I actually use some of Balls' templates from his cold email outreach course. So I use some of his templates, and I use it in Dubsado. I use it with email scheduler, and I send it out. And I write that. I take an afternoon. I go have a organic chai tea with a cigar, and I come down to the beach, and I just kick it. And I write the little emails on my iPhone, dude, and I'm jamming out to some like Drake or some cool stuff, and I just upload it. My team handles it, and they do it for me, dude. Literally, I run my business from this thing. All I need is a Wi-Fi connection, a little 3G, get on the Trello, and then I delegate, bro. And in 1 hour of delegation, I can take the rest of the day off. So for me, work is wake up, go to the beach, get chill, come back, swag up, and then spend an hour on Trello, and then boom, I know at least about 50 hours of stuff that I don't have to get done, at least. And that's a very, very awesome feeling, man. Amazing.
So I will attest to this, right? Frank does have a huge team. A lot of people like maybe skeptical, like, hey, does he really have people do this stuff? So we were sitting in New York City in Times Square at a pizza place. Myself, Frank, Salas, and my cousin actually was here from Monterrey, Mexico, right? We met her in the city. And all of a sudden, my phone rings, and I hear somebody. I pick up, and I never really pick up my phone, but they called like 3 times. So I'm like, oh, it might be important. So I picked it up, and it was like, "Hi, I forgot. This is so and so from the office of the talented Mr. Frank Salas." So I forget what the rest of the call was about, but like Frank kind of set that up where like I would get hit from his VAs while I was with him.
Badass. Every time I've ever seen anything from behind the scenes of Frank, it just blows me away. That's why I was super pumped to have him back on. And you guys should definitely follow. Make sure that they can follow you, man. Whatever you're doing, the Mr. Salas page, all that good stuff. Definitely someone worth following. I'm following him. I love seeing it. I like keeping up on his day-to-day activities and shit. I don't remember what made me reach back out again. Well, I guess we've stayed in contact pretty closely, but there was something you did like a week and a half ago. I'm like, I got to get this guy back on another call, man. Like,
it was my selfies, bro.
What's that?
I'm almost positive it was my selfies, bro.
It had to have been, dude. You had to have been you smoking. I love cigars, so it had to have been you smoking a cigar somewhere.
So Aaron asked, what was the name of the screen monitor? Frank, if you want to drop your affiliate link, if you'd be so kind, if you're going to sign up, it was a bit.ly/what?
Man, I don't even know anymore, dude. I'm going to have to sign up again.
Bro, why is everything you work with in beta? It sounds like you're doing that for a strategic reason. You keep saying that. What's up? What's the thought process behind that?
Yeah, and you know what? It is. So that's one of it. That's one of it right there. Oh, it's a bit.ly/VA screenshots. And I'm watching you guys. I'm tracking you guys. So if this thing doesn't go up, I know you guys didn't use my link. And I don't appreciate that. I need that free month. I got 45 mouths to feed, man. I need to save them dollars.
And Aaron has the next question. Do you do person-to-person meetings with clients or more over the phone?
I actually, check this out. So real quick, I just want to say you can follow me everywhere at Talented Mr. Salas. So check me out. That's your boy right there. I do my thing. But yeah, when it comes to what was the question? I'm sorry.
Do you meet with people in person or over the phone?
Oh, so neither. I don't come to your crib. I don't come to your office. I don't call you. You don't call me. You don't text me. We meet on Zoom just like this, or like video calls, and we meet face to face. And even if we're in the same city, I'm like, dude, I don't drive. I'm not calling a cab. I'm not calling an Uber. I'm not going on the train. I'm not going on a plane. You can't even send a Bentley to pick me up because I don't want to be where you are. I want to be right here doing what I'm doing, wearing what I'm wearing, rolling how I'm rolling. And if you want to play ball with your boy, play ball. If not, you can go roll somewhere else because that's just how I operate. And I let people know that's my message. In August, I had 3 cell phones, and I had these phones for years. I shut them all off. I was like, you know what? Mark Cuban don't got no cell phone. I ain't got no cell phone.
Man, that's fucking awesome. Good shit. Is there any other questions, Balls? I think my comment thing is
I'm looking.
frozen. It
I
always sucks when we
created
go
better.
from the page.
Yeah, was that?
I said the comments parts always suck when we go from the page.
Yeah. I'm looking on both the group and the page. It doesn't look like we have any more questions right now. So, Frank, at the end of this video, drop all your links, and then I'll copy them and I'll put it in the group. If you want to drop it in the group too, that's fine. So screenshot monitor, bit.ly/VA, what was it, VA screenshots?
Yeah.
Dub Sato, you have an affiliate link for that?
Yeah, I do. It's bit.ly/TMSCRM. TMSCRM.
TMSCRM, bit.ly/TMSCRM. And then if anybody's interested in getting in touch with you for the virtual assistant services, where's the best place to do that?
Just go out to your street corner and go, hooty hoo!
Oh, man.
You can just go to, you can find me everywhere at Talented Mr. Salas. Talented Mr. Salas.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
business page. Sweet. And Frank, I'm sure people enjoyed it. I always love having you on, man. I know we're talking about doing some, some regular podcasts and talking about some shit, man. So we'll continue going over with that. Is he still here?
Did we lose him?
Can't see him.
He's here. I think.
Well,
We lost
with
the
that,
camera.
it's that Colombian internet. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're catching the replay, but make sure we'll drop the links below so you can check any of that stuff out. Frank is the man. He's legit. He's vetted. We know he's a badass. And we'll probably be having him again here soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be back, Thursday night with a big one, Inbound Prospecting. It'll be the last one before Christmas. And then we'll look at doing some stuff next week as well. But thank you guys, as always, for watching. Frank, he's back. Frank, if you want to say goodbye, we're just signing off here, man. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Frank.
Hey, thanks for having me, fellas. I really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. We'll be doing some more of this shit coming into the new year.
Awesome. Later, guys.
You got it.
All right, later.